Thank you and welcome back. You're tuning into Financial Fitness Northwest live on 1150 KKNW, where we help you navigate the mortgage and real estate market with expert advice from knowledgeable and trustworthy industry professionals. Next on our show, we have Pam and Chris McCain, McCain Properties Partners, and they are licensed realtors with over 36 years of experience in the King County real estate market from South Bellevue to Tacoma. They assist real estate clients build wealth through strategic real estate purchases as well as places they love to live. Welcome, Pam and Chris.
Hello.
Welcome to the show, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you so much for having us this morning.
Yeah, well, I'm really excited because I want to hear how it, first off, just tell me about you guys being a, mother-son team or a mother-daughter team. How do you guys like working together, and how did that kind of transpire to being a team?
Well, I don't know how well you guys work together, but I mean, there's definitely times where it's really great, and then there's times where she just drives me crazy because she's my mom. And so, Pam's obviously been in the business a lot longer than I have. I'm just wrapping up my second year, so she holds down the majority of that 36-year experience because she's been in the business forever,
right?
And we work really well together about 85% of the time.
Well, I think that's pretty good.
That's pretty good. I mean, that would be true with anybody pretty much, right?
Any
Even
partner.
if you weren't related.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, something I noticed early on is my family has paid a big price for me to be in this business full-time, long-term. Mm-hmm. And both Chris and my daughter have been raised with real estate. Been raised in the back seat of a car a lot of the time, delivering papers here or there. But they each have a natural interest in the business, which is really great. I mean, I don't think of any other parent that would rather have a business that they could hand over to their kids, and we could groom them along the way. The clients that I have, we've had relationships for a long time. They know my story, and so they welcome Chris and his expertise. Also, the business is changing. Old school is how I really operate. I call it high touch, lower tech. It's
I like
non-tech. Yeah. But people are really used to my high touch approach. But the millennial buyer doesn't need that, and so Chris is really good at that, keying in on the technology side and giving clients just what they need at the place that they're at. So
you guys like a perfect balance. Works well.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
It's working.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that sounds great. And 85% is pretty great, really.
Yeah, I don't know about perfect balance, but there is a balance.
Yeah.
I don't know, Mom. You keep highlighting that 85%. It makes me wonder what percentage you feel we're at.
I don't know. I'm going to have to start keeping a ledger to figure out what our actual percentage is.
Not.
Funny. Well, anyway, so we want to talk about the market. What do you guys see hot in this market?
Well, definitely. We all know that listings are selling right as they come off the market. Boy, if you're a first-time buyer, tough to compete, tough to be a buyer in this market. It's very, we have to work ever closer with our mortgage professionals. Sarah, I appreciate your input, and Patricia both, because we have to be creative to find ways that people can buy that don't follow the traditional norms. We need to provide a place where they don't always have to go with an FHA minimum down program, because they just don't look and feel like a competitive buyer to a seller who's evaluating 4 or 5 offers, a lot of times with people with a lot more down payment. So we really rely on our relationship a lot more now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. It is tough, a tough market right now. Are you seeing, because you guys generally are working more in like the Maple Valley, right, south end for the most part? Is that generally where you guys are at, or?
I think that
spread out
we have had listings and sold properties in a lot of different areas.
Okay.
We want to work with whoever wants to work with us.
Because the markets are very different. I mean, if you're listing on the east side versus, Kent, Auburn, right? I mean, it is the escalation clauses and the buyers on the east side aren't necessarily your minimum down people. They might be first-time home buyers, but a lot of them work in the tech industry, and they have some money because they got all those signing bonuses, and they're making a pretty good living. And then down in the east side, the south side, it's a little bit different. It's competitive, but it's different competition, right? I mean, what are buyers up against there? I mean, is it escalating still?
Absolutely. We have escalating offers. We're dealing with cash offers just like they are on the east side. Not as often, but boy, if you can have a buyer who's more sophisticated that can come in and not require that we have an appraisal as a condition to their home purchase, waive an inspection, which I would never recommend actually to any buyer at any level. You know, if you have somebody with a lot of confidence and some cash behind them, tough to compete with a first-time buyer who is important to the process because we have to buy something first. And that first-time buyer for us turns into our second seller and buyer and our third-time seller and buyer. So getting those people involved in the market is very important, and it's good for them. It helps them start to build wealth sooner than later.
Yeah. So good, especially now with rents. You know, rents are just going through the roof, and in most cases you can afford to own a home for the same or less than you might be paying in rent, depending on where you're at.
That's really true. And what I found is, you know, first-time buyers nowadays, they really feel like they should walk into their dream home. And that just doesn't happen.
No.
And staying open-minded and having a good realtor partner coach is so important because we can help you strategize maybe to get into that moderate condo first, maybe to buy something you'd never considered living in, but keeping in mind you don't have to live there forever. You know, 3-4 years to build $50,000 equity, that's a reasonable trade.
Yeah, definitely.
And unfortunately, what we're seeing is we're just seeing people that are more concerned about filling the needs of their family over, you know, having it be a great investment. You know what I mean? Especially when first-time home buyers, a lot of them, it's tough for them to grasp a hold of the fact that this isn't going to be their forever home. You know, this is going to be the stepping stone in which they're going to be able to level up, essentially. So everybody wants that, you know, 3-bedroom, 1.5-bath Rambler for their first home for under $250,000, and it's just not happening.
Right.
So that's what we're seeing a ton of, and it's all about setting realistic expectations in the beginning. So that it's not our wish to kind of crush their dreams, but it's our job to present the market to them in a way that shows them hey, this is the market. You know, this isn't us telling you that, you know, you can't fulfill your dream. This is just the state of the market, and it's our job to just kind of interpret the market for them.
Yeah, that's really good. I know when I bought my house in 2008, I don't even know. I think I might have looked at 50 or 60 homes, right? And you just got to pick what you wanted. So standards are really high, you know, so because you just could have the world, really. And now, you know, that's just not the case anymore. And I think it's really hard for first-time home buyers because it's a huge step for them. This investment's huge. So, yeah, I think that's really great, consulting them, right? Consultative approach. So, well, let's talk a little bit. I'm really excited about talking about Black Diamond, Pam, because you're they're the chairman of the Planning Commission out there, and there's big things going on in Black Diamond. So can you share with us what's happening, what's coming up?
Well, I certainly can, and very, very exciting. You know, everybody knows that we don't have enough housing supply. That's why people are lining up 6, 7, 8 people deep for the same home. We don't have enough housing supply. And the good news is that back in 1990, the Growth Management Act was passed, and it deliberately set the state up for growth in particular areas. And they did that on purpose because we can't load everyone on the east side. We can't have everybody live in Bothell. So the state evaluated their long-term goals and their transportation services and also wanting to reduce urban sprawl. And so they came up with the Growth Management Act that dictates each city in the county to take a certain amount of growth every single year. And it is Black Diamond's turn. We have lots of open space. It's been a quiet, sleepy town for many, many years. But, you know, things change and exciting things are happening.
And so Black Diamond, for all of you that don't know it, is like the neighbor to Maple Valley. So Maple Valley is a very desirable place to live. Everybody's moving there, but it's getting, you know, overgrown as well. And so, and sprawling out to Black Diamond, it's beautiful, and there's a lot of space there, and you're still in the feel of Maple Valley area. But they're doing a master plan community there, right?
Exactly. And a master plan community is the envy of all planners. I mean, any other city planner would love to have a grand plan that they could design not only housing, but they could design commercial space. They could design light industrial space, so we'd have some job opportunities local to the center to which the houses are being built, and plan for school sites and open space, all of that at one time, because everything works in a cohesive way. So that's what Black Diamond's going to be. It's the layout is very similar to Snoqualmie Ridge.
Okay. That's really nice.
So if we wanted to draw some parallels, it's very, very similar to that.
Yeah, that is so exciting because, like you say, I mean, they're kind of just have a clean slate, right? And they can do it all from scratch as opposed to something that's already been started, 10, 20 years ago, and then you're trying to fill in and make it that feel, but you really can't do it. But I think it sounds like you're going to be able to do that out there.
Well, and anybody who's had a youngster in sports in Kent, Covington, Maple Valley, there are very little play fields. There are very few play fields, very few places to actually get out and enjoy nature because they were never planned. Well, here in the city of Black Diamond, there's tons of open space. It's all trailed. Walkable cities is the tagline that's been used to describe how they want that city to be, where, you can come home from work, you can put your jogging shoes on, you can take the dog for a walk and go grab something for dinner. You can walk through town and go to the library. You can make a right-hand turn and go to the Black Diamond Bakery, have breakfast there. Lots of walkable city things, because people, as they'll be commuting back and forth, they're going to need that respite, a little bit of relaxation.
I want to live there.
Me
I'm
too.
excited.
Sign me up.
So coming from new construction, I love new construction, done lots of builder business over the years. So I assume there's probably a lot of builders that are going to be involved out there. Is that...
Well, there will be. The master developer has things just about ready to go. All the gross utilities are already installed. Very cool feature is we're going to have lots of electric car plug-ins.
Oh, wow.
Cool.
Yeah, we don't have those things further south than Renton
No.
now. So that's very cutting edge. They're going higher tech than anywhere else with all of our internet services, which is really going to be cool. It is just going to be a dynamic place. And so Oak Point, who is the master developer there, CDC Partners, will be developing all the pieces and then selling them off to individual builders to have them take on 30, 50, 100 lots possibly at a time. The good news is there is a very strong development agreement that's in place that has a lot of architectural siding as to how the houses and communities are going to look.
Oh.
So we won't feel like we have a very modern 3-story property next door to a really moderate, like mining style home. The development agreement and the architectural codes are going to keep things really cohesive, like it looks like a blended development, though you will have the personal touch from lots of different builders.
Wow, that's so exciting. So when are these houses going to start to come to market?
I think that the first, it's going to be next spring is when they start construction on the first phase 1.
Okay.
And I think it's funny because I think we've all been to a city that hasn't been a master plan, a city that started with a Safeway and then they've, just built around it, like Maple Valley. It was
Covington, it's just a road.
Exactly. Yeah, it started with one store, one commercial space area, and then they just built around it. And you can really feel sometimes it was just very pieced together. But when you go to a Snoqualmie Ridge or a Redmond Town Center or something like that, it's just a neat area. And there's a lot of people from the east side that have moved out to Maple Valley. And like you said, Sarah, Maple Valley is just getting crowded and super expensive.
Yeah.
So we're excited to see just that great demographic move out to Black Diamond. Me and Pam are both Black Diamond residents. So for someone who's younger, who lives in Black Diamond, I'm excited to see some of those amenities that young people want to have out there.
And young families, it's going to really draw a lot of young families out there, and it's going to be somewhat affordable, right? And Black Diamond is King County still?
Correct.
Okay. And so is that the Kent School District or Maple Valley School District?
Actually, it's a little bit of both. It's a really strange intersection of, we have parts of the Tahoma School District, but right up against our northern boundary. We have the Enumclaw School District, which is the most of Black Diamond is part of that. But on the western side, it's a Kent School District. So we have a little bit of everything out there. The real plus is the Enumclaw School District hasn't had a lot of growth because there's been a building moratorium out in Enumclaw for the last 10 years.
Okay.
Well, this is going to bring on, with 6 new school sites, it's going to infuse a lot of energy into the Enumclaw School District, and that should be exciting for people who live in Enumclaw.
Right. Wow, it's going to do a lot for that area.
Yeah, it's going to be, that's amazing, like you say, for young families. And I was just thinking when you were talking about the walkability, you know, and you always see that, like when you look on Zillow at homes, like they have that walkability, but most homes don't really have anything in there, right? But with people and spending so much time commuting, how great would it be to just go home on Friday, park your car, and you don't get it out of the garage until Monday morning again because you have everything right around you?
It would be lovely.
Well, that's the real draw. And the interface between the city of Black Diamond and all of our rural spaces, you know, you're 45 minutes to Crystal Mountain. Mm-hmm. You know, you're 50 minutes to Snoqualmie. The skiing, the hiking, we have a 40-acre bike trail. You know, there's lots of things. And it's also going to be interfacing with that Cedar River Trail system. The county's expanding the trail services there. So everything will come together once that piece of Black Diamond is in place.
And you guys will be the experts out there. So if you want to move out to the Maple Valley Black Diamond area, you've got to reach out to you guys, Pam and Chris McCain.
That's right. Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, you guys. That's some really exciting information, and can't wait to see that come online. Thank you for tuning in to Financial Fitness Northwest. When we come back from the break, we will be talking with Heather Fritz and Karen Hansen on the show, teaching us about Courage 360, whose mission is to help disadvantaged people realize the dream of financial independence. To find out more about topics discussed on today's show, you can find us online at www.financialfitnessnw.com.